fully aware. We're going to have our feet around hip width apart. Good. A little bit of a bend of a knee. Hey, your arms can either be externally rotated or you can place your hands on body, maybe one on belly, maybe one on chest. Whatever you feel, eyes can stay opened or closed as we inhale through the nose, exhale out mouth. Let's do that a couple times. Inhale through nose, exhale out mouth. One more. Ah, good. Let's do a couple pursed lip breaths. Some of you might have already been going into them. Inhale through nose, pursing the lips, blowing it out, a pursed lip breath. Good. One more time. Pursed lip breath. And then just let your body, does it want to go back into the sigh out the mouth? Does it want to do a few more pursed lip breaths? So you let your body and yourself decide what you need right now. And whenever you're ready, you're going to move into breathing in and out of the nose. But know at any time, the breath can still release out the mouth. And I'm going to bring your attention as you keep the awareness just slightly aware of your breathing, just into your feet. So you might take a moment just to shift into right foot to left foot. See how each feet are landing and communicating with the ground. So this mindful standing, sometimes we do mindful sitting, we do mindful lying down, but to also be aware at times we can have mindful standing. So there's so many times when we're just standing and waiting. So it can be in line for something. And you can focus on, as we shift awareness from toes to heels, do I feel all of my toes rooting into the floor? And then do you feel the whole circle of your heel? So I'll describe the inside, the back, the outside of the heel. And the front of the heel kind of flows right into the inner arch. So just feel those 3 points of the heel. And just see, do you tend to lean a little bit more maybe on the outer edge of the foot or the inner edge of your foot, or more in your heels than in your toes, or vice versa? So just inquiring, always with a little level of compassion today. Check in with your breath. And then you're going to release your hands if they've been on belly and just open the eyes if they were closed. We're going to root down through the feet. Now you're going to check in. So if one hip is feeling a little bit sore today or one shoulder, you're going to start by lifting that leg. So for me, I have a little sensitivity in my left side. So that's the side I'm going to start lifting my foot. So that means my right foot is rooted. But if you have one foot, if it's the opposite for you, if your right hip or right leg is sensitive, I want you to start to lift that side, that heel, and root your other foot. So just kind of check in. What's more sensitive? And then start to press down into your standing leg. So all of the toes, the heel. Now we feel a little lifting up through the transverse. So you want to feel lower belly lifting up. Sometimes we do that S breath. Inhale through nose, exhale through mouth, and the tongue pushes on your lower teeth. This connects in a little bit more to our pelvic floor and helps gather the pelvic floor and lift the lower transverse up. And some of you, it's more rib cage gathering, where you notice maybe the rib cage kind of flares a little bit. So that's the SH breath. And as you keep pressing down, eventually you might feel, as you feel this gathering in, there's a back, and then you want to feel this energy pulling up today. So as we kind of connect a whole string of muscles, we want to connect up and feel that we reach out the top of our head. So some of us, our foot will lift and some of us, they won't, but we can do a little kick and then tap down. Some of you can float your leg in the air and kick and float, kick and float. And then you're going to start to roll. Ah, good job. Roll on one foot that you've identified that you want to start on. Okay, so notice your pressure. Remember, you can go to the ball. Some of you are starting on the ball, but you're going to go from toes to heel. Hmm. Now, this is a really good time sometimes for the breath to come in, out the mouth again. Yeah, and you might find that you want to roll up onto the outer edge. That's the pinky side of your foot, your lateral arch. Some of you might want to roll on the inner arch. You might even just want to press down on certain areas in the inner arch of the foot. Feel a little compression and then ease off. Your pressure is up to you. So we're just getting into the plantar fascia. Yeah. A lot of us have the dowel in class, so you can always feel if you press down on a certain spot that is just a little bit stronger sensation. You can do what is called a little press, which is a pin, and then a little twist. So if you have the ball, which I don't, but you're doing it anyway, you can also drag the foot from toes to heel. Yeah. And can I use your ball for a moment just to show you? So you can do whichever way you want. Sometimes I like to start at pinky and press. And you can see there's kind of like a pulling across. So what you're doing is you're cross fibering across the fascia and the muscles. So instead of going with the grain, which is toes to heel, you're crossing over. Yeah, so just kind of see and feel, oh, what's happening? The dowel's a little bit different from the ball, but really nice. Ball's more directive, dowel's more spreading. Good. Nice. And when it feels complete, you might notice that your other leg is saying, okay, I'm feeling a little fatigued. I want you to come off. So then you just come off and you feel your feet. Then you're going to stand on that leg that you just rolled. So start pressing down. Notice, is it the S breath, that lifting up, feeling more of the lower belly and the pelvic floor? Or is it the SH breath, which is the wrapping around? And then as you press down, maybe that foot comes off, maybe it doesn't. Some of you might feel as you pull in, there's an up. And then you might just kick and tap and kick and tap. Yeah. And then start to roll. Check in with the breathing again. So this is a really good practice to do, even sometimes before when you're going to go for a long walk, or maybe after you come home from a long walk or an outing. You might notice just rolling the feet out. If you've always done foot rolling standing, so we kind of explored a little bit of foot rolling lying down today. Also try foot rolling seated in a chair. It's really nice just to take off body weight and roll the feet. Have you done that, Michelle, just in a chair? Yeah, it's different, right? Sitting by the couch and yeah, that's when we do. We always have a foot rolling something in front of the couch. So it's really nice if you're just sitting and you're like, well, I'm sitting and watching right now. Yeah. With all the release devices. That's so great. I always have slow-mo ball in. Yeah. 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 That's great. Hmm. I had my semi-inflated slow-mo ball instead of in my lower back. I had it up in my upper back when I was driving, and it was really nice. 12 hours and supported yourself. That's great. Good. So it's like noticing we have different tools, right? And how can we take them off the mat? Okay, so we're probably getting close to finishing second side. So once you're done, I'm just going to put that off to the side. Ah. Okay, we're going to go into a forward fold. So I'm just turning sideways so that we can have a better visual of me, but you can even step forward. If you do want to reach your arms out, you can. You just need to step a little bit in front of your neighbors, so staggering a tiny bit. I'm just going to have hands on pelvis today. So you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to feel pelvis start to reach back. So at the very bottom of the pelvis are our sit bones, our ischial tuberosity. So as they start to reach back, you'll feel your torso coming forward with the pelvis. And then you're just going to pause. So we want a right angle. So we want our head, our torso, and our pelvis all in one line. Arms are going to dangle. Knees can be as bent as you need to. Figure out if you need an S breath or an SH breath, something to draw all of your transverse in and up. So you feel intentionality of support. And then let your arms start to swing and sway on the floor. Yeah, little reaching out the top of your head forward and reach back through your sit bones to the wall behind you. Wiggle your fingers and your thumbs from time to time. Yeah, good. Now, choice here, depending on how you're feeling. You might just bend your knees and bring your forearms down to the thighs and stay in a little bit more of an upright. Those of you that do want to go deeper, you're going to start from the feet and you're going to start to lengthen through your calves, through your hamstrings. You're going to reach your sit bones up. That's going to bring the torso down. You want to have even weight through toes and heels. So try not to shift too much back on the heels. If you've come forward a little bit more, you just let your head go. Breathe. Sometimes it's out the mouth, sometimes it's out the nose. Okay, arms can dangle. You can also bend the elbows. Right hand can hold left elbow, left hand can hold right. And you can feel your elbows become heavy as they descend to the floor. Good. Some of you are just connecting back and maintaining that breath awareness for yourself. Now we're going to start to bend the knees. So if you need any extra support, remember your hands can always come on your thighs. Sit your buttocks back and down as if there's a chair behind you. So hands can stay here, or we can reach arms up, shoulders nice and relaxed. Just going to engage the leg muscles. So that helps bring the blood and equalize blood pressure after we've hung inverted for a period of time. Just allow this to come in. Sometimes even a little bounce here is nice. We get a little bit of resilience and springiness to the fascia. That's optional. And then you're going to press down through the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, release. Shake it out. Okay, let's do a little swinging twist. You might need to stagger a little bit on your mat. And we're going to slow that down. We're going to go into our side body release. We're going to bring right arm up. Good. Let's grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand. And you're going to tug it over to the left. So I'm mirroring you. So you're going to look like this if I'm doing the same as you. Good. And then just take a moment to feel your side body. And then you might roll forward a little bit and then roll back up and open and a little bit back if you choose. So you just listen to your body. If you do want to go forward, you're going to allow your other arm to come forward, switch, holding the opposite wrist, tugging gently on that wrist, that hand, to really feel the fascia release going down through body. Sometimes even the hands want to come very softly behind head. So I've just got my hands softly touching. It can be interlaced or touching and just opening through elbows, reaching to the sides of the room. And then you might even feel, a little bit different variation of going from side to side here, just giving you some options, just releasing a few spaces in body that we frequently hold. We're going to take hands. We're either going to interlace fingers. If that doesn't feel good, you can put the back of your hand on the palm of your hand. And we're just going to press forward. Just release the fingers. Good. Now, as you're here, just take a few breaths to just notice, can you reach your thumb and your pinky forward evenly? Good. Nice straight arm. Just letting the hands, the forearms, the shoulders release. And then you're going to start to bend your knees, sit back into a chair, and then lean back into the shoulder blades, protract them, which means pull them apart. Let your head bow. Take a moment, maybe you do a little twisting or movement here with the body just to get into shoulder blades. And we're going to bring the hands now as we come up just behind the head. We're going to do a little spinal wave standing that we've been practicing. So here, you're going to root into your toes. So more weight shifts into your toes. You're going to keep your hands here. I'm just going to show you. Then you're going to feel a lifting up through your thighs, your pubic bone. That might be an S breath. Lift lower belly, upper belly, heart. Let your head release into the sling that you've created of the fingers. Soft gaze. Good. Then you're going to start to shift your weight back into your heels. Reach down through your sit bones, round your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Your head comes down. Now try not to pull on the head. You're going to lean the head back up into your hands. Open your back body. So just feel that for a few breaths. And then you're going to shift into the toes. Lift up through the thighs, the lower belly, the upper belly, chest. Let the head relax back into the sling hammock of the hands. And then you're going to move back into the feet, round through the lower back. Keep your toes, even though you're in the heels a little bit more. Remember, your head moves up into the hands, and then you're just going to go back and forth a couple times. So root into your toes. Use that S sound or SH sound. Reach energy out the top of your head. Yeah, good. We're going to go one more time forward. And then we're going to end in extension. So that's coming into the toes, opening up. And then just come up, release the arms, shake it out. Good. Okay. So I wanted to do a tiny bit of work with the terror band today. So some of you have, I think all of you should. Yeah, great. So feet distance is kind of up to you. You can be 2 feet apart, you can be 3 feet apart. If you want, you can be even 4, and you're going to angle your toes out. So what you can do is turn sideways on your mat and face me, or just step off your mat, depending on how far you want to go. Good. But we just want to feel as you're just coming over the toes, you want your knees to be projecting over the second and the third toe. Yes. So as you push off through your right foot and you lean to the left, you want to look that your knees are kind of projecting over the toes. As you press your left foot into the floor and you move to the right, check your alignment. So just do that a couple times. Good. Notice if one knee tends to go in a little bit more. So try to keep it out. Yeah. Keep the toes rooted. There you go. This is a good one for you, Shona. Yeah. Then you're going to find a place in between the feet and come down into your squat. Good. You're going to have palms down. You're going to grab the terror band. So just find shoulder width apart. Just keep sitting down. And we're just going to pull it apart, just opening chest, feeling shoulder blades come together. So that might be your exhale. And then you inhale and you release. So just exhale, pull apart. Good. Inhale, release. You can do that 2 more times. Exhale, pull apart. And inhale, release. Now, this time, as we exhale and pull apart, when we inhale and release, we're going to stand up. Good. When we exhale and pull apart, you're going to come back into your squat. When you inhale and release, you're going to stand up. Good. Keep those feet rooted. Exhale, pull apart. Inhale, open. Two more. Exhale, pull apart. Inhale, stand up, open. And exhale, pull apart. Good. Now you're going to just heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. So your round hip width apart. Bring your arms up. Now, when we're here, sometimes we notice the pelvis anterior tilt and our ribs come forward. So if you need, you're going to feel SH breath. Draw those ribs in. Lift up through the pubic bone. Feel the feet press into the floor. Good. Now we're just going to pull apart overhead. I'm going to feel more in between the shoulder blades here. Inhale, come back together. Good. Let's do that a couple times. Exhale, pull apart. Inhale together. Exhale, pull apart. Good. Inhale together. Two more. Shh. Last one. Yeah. The colors of that green. Harder. Yeah, I think blue is the hardest. And then I'm not too sure. I don't feel much of a difference between the red and the yellow. Might be. Yeah. That's why Seamus is doubled up. Yeah. So we're going to release that down. Good, good. Yeah, right. Now we're going to take the terror bed. And now some of you may need a wall for this. So Kim, I might suggest that you come towards the pillar. See the one in the middle of the room. So you might face this because I want to release the quads. So you're going to hold, you're going to double up your tear band. And some of you might not need it. You're going to hold the wall if you're using it. And then you're going to put one foot, you can choose the tear band around the ankle. Now you want to watch that the shin and the foot is not angling in. So you want to have a straight line. And then you can gently draw or bring the foot, the heel towards the back of the thigh. The knee points towards the floor. And then if some of you do want to lean forward, you can. Oh, good. You don't have to use it. Some of you can grab onto your foot with your hands, so you can just do it with your hand. Yes. I know. I'm here for you guys. Teresa, can I touch your heel for a moment? Okay. So I'm going to bring there. Now you're really heavy on outside of the hip. So can you root more onto your right inner heel? Lift your inner arch of the right foot. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Thigh internally rotates for you. There you go. Yes. See the difference of that? And then when you're ready, you're going to come out. Yeah. Shake it out. So right hip, bring it down towards the floor. There it is. Feel that. And then you can even lift through your heart. Yeah. And then eventually, right? It's a back bend. Yes. And you want to open up through the hip crease. So when I say hip crease, if I can touch, it's right here. So this part you can feel when you kind of come. You're a little bit back here, but see that? Right. Okay, so I'm going to show something on this side that I see a little bit happening. So just come out for a moment. This is a hip flexor quad release. So when we're in it, some of you, when you're holding, and I'll show it on both sides, your leg is kind of resting at this spot. And this is not releasing. You see how I'm still kind of bent here a little bit? So one of the things is before you even go forward, you want to let your knee go down. So reach down. This opens. And then as that happens, then as my leg goes back, I feel this part release. So you want to try to get that. So really reach down and then back to open up. Yeah, the front of the hip flexor. Yes, and foot can even be at the wall for some of you, which is a little bit more helpful. And I think, Shona, that might be you. Yeah, and just where you were bringing the foot up, just put it into the wall. I extend here first. Yeah. Yeah. Which works good. Good. How does that feel on your leg? Yeah. On the other side. So this is the one that you had the hip replacement. So it's this one. Okay. So the right. So when you bear weight on right side, it's a little bit. Are you still getting pins and needles? Okay. That feels better with the foot on the wall. I think this is your dancer. Yeah. So we have a couple variations of even going into the wall, which is a little bit more of a balance, okay, of using the wall, the foot into the wall to really release. So just try it one more time on each side just to feel what's happening for you, with or without the tear bed. So I have to stretch your wrist, so I do it first. Uh-huh. I come forward and yeah. I'm in the right position to bring it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so talking is a whole other level, right, in balancing. Right. So I'm trying to do it when it's up. Right. It's not happening. Yeah. Okay. And I'm just going to see how you're standing. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at your inner arches, which we can do some strengthening with, which I think is really going to help. Do they hurt? No, I was missing where. You deep pronating. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's come back. So did that feel different? Trying it at the wall, trying it with the tear band. You like the wall? With the hand. Yeah. hmm hmm Could we feel a little bit more opening? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. So we're going to travel towards the floor now. So just put everything off to the side. You're going to find the top of your mat. And just now stand on your feet as you did when you first arrived. So maybe it's arms just off to the side. Let's just make it nice and easy. Externally rotate palms forward. Notice if you need an S breath or an SH breath. Just check in. Do you have your toes on the floor, your heels? Sometimes you can imagine that you're picking up the mat where you can feel the inner arches lifting. Next week, we're going to do a little bit more arch strengthening. We're going to bring our hands up, palms touching right at the heart. Center, thumbs might even touch sternum. As you exhale, release your arms beside your legs. Press and root your feet into the floor. Inhale, float your arms up. Maybe gaze follows. Exhale, come down into a forward fold. So if you're halfway, all the way, good. Now there's options here to come down to the floor. So you're going to bend your knees enough so that you can get your hands in front of your feet, nice and wide, the width of your mat. Some of you may choose to take one step back, the other step back, and go into a downward dog, which is an inverted V. Other option is just to take one step back, come down onto one knee, then the other knee, and then choose. If being on hands and knees doesn't feel good, you can always roll to one side and just sit off to the side. Those of you, yeah, those of you that do want to be in downward dog for a moment, yeah. And so you can just roll. Does it feel okay to be on the knees? Yeah. So if you feel okay to be on the knees, you can also sit back in child's pose. Yeah, good. Head can hover. You can support the head. So after you've done a little walking out in downward dog, just take a moment there. Rest in child's pose. See if arms want to be forward, supporting the head. Some of you like to walk your arms off to the side. When you go off to the side, head can hover here. Breathe into side body. And you're going to pass through center and go to the other side if you wish. We're going to come back to center. Now, depending on how you're feeling in the hands and the wrists, if being on hands and this hyper extension is not feeling good, you can come down onto your elbows for this next one. We are going to grab our inflated ball. If you don't have one, you can also grab the 4-inch, just something thicker that you can put in between your thighs. So hands under the shoulders, knees can be under the hips, toes are going to tuck under. Okay, we're doing a little bit of strengthening of the feet to the inner thighs, to the pelvic floor, to the lower belly first. So you're going to push the floor away. Good. Inhale. As you exhale, I want you to really feel the squeezing of the block, pushing the floor away, and see if you can just lift your knees a little bit up off the floor. Good. And then you're going to come back down. So it might even be good. And we're going to try that again. Press down through the hands and the feet. Squeeze the block, maybe an SH sound. Lift up for a moment. Good job. And then come back down. One last time. Press the floor away. Squeeze the ball or the block. Come up. You hold for as long as you want. And then you're going to come down. Yeah, you're going to remove the block. We're going to go straight into sunbird. So if your forearms or if your wrists are not feeling good, you can come onto forearms. I am going to demonstrate this one from forearms. That means elbows are under the shoulder. Now you're going to use this that we just did. We're going to have left hand forearm on the floor and right foot is going to stay on the floor, either top of the feet or the toes. You choose. Inhale, exhale, S breath or SH breath as you extend right arm, left leg. Pull in. Yes. Inhale, coming back. Good. Now your right hand and your left leg is going to stay on the floor. As you inhale and exhale, use your S sound. If you need to, SH, left arm is going to come forward, right leg is going to come back. Good. Pushing through the heel. Some of you can lift off the floor. If you do, thumb is pointing up to the ceiling, back leg is pressing into the floor. Good. And then you're going to come back. Inhale, exhale, right arm, left leg lifts. Pull in through the upper belly, lengthen out through the leg that's extending the arm. Inhale forward, you got it. One last time, exhale, left arm, right leg, forward and back. We're going to lean over onto one side on our hip. Good. Swing our legs forward. Now, as we shake out the legs, you might have a little chip foam block that you might want to use. It's up to you. But what I want you to try is just lean over onto left hand, left hip. Take your hand behind the back of the thigh, upper thigh. Sweep it up and over. So you're just kind of lifting the flesh of the buttocks, just bringing the pelvis into neutral. And then just see how that feels. And then try the other side. If you feel that you're more neutral and you're okay, you can stay here. But if not, you're going to sit up onto your chip foam block. But if you feel okay, we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Good. So just notice where in the closeness does it feel okay? And I want you to try to line up all your toes and your heel. Good. Now we're going to press the feet into each other. So you're going to find your toes. You're going to start to press your toes, press your heel. And we're just affecting through the legs right into the pelvic floor today. Lifting up through body. Keep pressing as you inhale, exhale. Keep holding that pressure. Yes. And then you're going to release. Good. And then you're just going to let the legs bounce up and down a little bit just to release the fascia. And then you're going to slow it down. We're going to do it again. So we're going to inhale, exhale, press the feet. Hold the pressure as you inhale and exhale. Notice which muscles are engaging. Release. Flap the legs, butterfly flaps. I'm going to fly away. That'd be great if we all started hovering. Okay, wouldn't it? Okay, yes, if you really imagine it, it's quite awesome. Okay, so inhale, exhale, press the feet into each other. This is our last time. Hold the pressing. Keep breathing though, as you feel, something readjusting. We're communicating a whole chain of muscles from the feet to the pelvis. Then you're going to release and you're going to shake and bounce it a little bit. Yeah. So this is affecting the knees, the pelvis, the feet. Hmm. Yeah. Now you're going to bring the inner knees together, lengthen it out, shake it out. You just do a little soft forward. So you're going to press through your pelvis, press the back of the thighs into the floor, your calves into your floor. When you do that, sometimes the heels might even softly levitate. And then you're just going to move forward from the pelvis, just ever so gently. Let the head go. Okay, just let the head move from left to right in a no motion and then a yes motion. Soften the shoulders, soften the shoulders. Keep pressing the back of the legs into the ground, your pelvis. Just letting the legs straighten and lengthen without focusing on the knee joint. It's a really good way of lengthening through the muscles and fascia and getting the leg to straighten by pressing and rooting through pelvis, back of the thighs, calves into the floor. And you'll notice one leg might be a little bit weaker. Maybe it's in the calf, maybe it's in the upper thigh. Good. One more breath. And we're going to come up, shake it out. Now, we're going to roll down to the floor. Some of you may need a chip foam block when you come down to the floor, and it may support you under the head. But you can chin towards chest, arms beside you. You're going to pull in and up. Some of you might even use something between the legs. S breath or SH breath. I want you to round back, chin towards chest, very soft. So your hands are really heavy. You're going to pull in and up, squeeze the ball or the block to lower down. Now, some of you may not be able to control the whole descent, and at some point you just kind of let go. In time, that will get stronger. Okay, you're going to draw the legs up towards you. Take your ball out. Hold the back of the thighs for the moment. Rock a little bit from right to left. Okay, we're going to be doing the rest of the class from the floor. You can hear me walking over. I'm just going to minimize the window a little bit. Good. Okay, we're going to take some time just to pause on the floor. So knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Some of you may find putting some height, a chip foam block behind the head. Hands can be on body, arms can be out to the side with the back of the hands on the floor. If you have some props in the way, just shift them so that you can take up some space. Ah. Take a breath, let it out your mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale through nose, exhale through mouth. One last time. Good. And then just slowly start to let the breath flow in and out of your nose. And if it feels comfortable for you, let your eyes either soften or close for a moment. And just allow yourself to come inside of your body a little bit more. We call this interoception. So we were doing a lot of proprioception, which is noticing our body moving in the orientation of the space, which is the studio today. It helps whenever we build our proprioception to soften the neuroceptors. So neuroceptors are the ones that create the sensation is what we identify with pain. And the more we're embodied in our body, the more we're aware of moving our body in space, then it quiets those nociceptors, which are our pain receptors. And so now we're landing and locating on the floor. So I want you to feel your feet. How are they touching? And you feel all your toes, your heels, inner, outer back. Now weight your pelvis, right hip, left hip. And in between right and left hip is your sacrum. It's a downward pointing triangle. So you might even feel heavy there. Let the belly expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel the belly draw in and maybe a little up. Notice the right side of your rib cage and the left side of your rib cage heavy. Blow that up as you continue to inhale and exhale, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade. Notice the right arm and the left arm descending, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, wrist and hand. Notice how when you start to become a little bit more aware of this interoception, this inner felt sense of body landing and locating into the ground, we start to get a sense of what we feel like inside of our body. So we grow this awareness by attention and intention. So we're intentionally allowing our awareness to come to feeling inside the belly, inside the torso, tingling sensation, warmth, cool. And then how we're landing into heaviness. We're just doing this pause so that we all gather here together as a class. A few more breaths. The breath is nice and smooth, easeful, no forcing. So we're going to go into some myofascial release now. And we're going to do this with our wooden dowel. Some of you might use your hands. So you're just going to locate your dowel. Okay, and you can have an option here. Sometimes taking this chip foam block feels good as you press your feet into the floor to lift the hips up off the floor and just let the pelvis rest on the block. So for some of us, that allows it to be a little bit easier to draw one leg up towards us, the other leg, and to extend the legs into the air. So you can have one leg into the air or the other. So you can put that under your pelvis, Kim. And Tatiana, can you be a demonstrator of that just so that Kim can see that from right beside you of putting the block under the pelvis if needed? Thank you. It's up to you if it feels better. If it doesn't, that's fine. Okay, so shake it out. Now, if you have one leg that's feeling a little bit sensitive today, I want you to start on it. So you can always bend the other leg or put that foot on the floor. It's up to you. So you're going to take the dowel in the hand and you're going to start tapping the lower shin. So we're always avoiding the bone. So no tapping ankle, no tapping shin bone, and no tapping directly on the knee. So you're going to start just above your ankle bone and you're going to tap on the outside of the lower leg, maybe the top of the shin, just avoiding that shin bone. You can go and bend the knee and you can tap from the back. So you're tapping in the back of the Achilles, going from the ankle all the way up through your calf muscle to very softly behind the knee. So we're getting into the mechanoreceptors. And then you can go all the way up if you choose into the hamstring, all the way up to the bottom of your pelvis. So you want to have the flesh really soft. So the more bent or soft you have the outer skin, then it gets into the layers of the fascia from the superficial fascia to the deeper fascia. And you can tap from the outer all the way through the outside of the knee to the iliotibial band on the side of the leg. I'm going to introduce one other one that you guys know, and some of you it's new, is you can hold the dowel one on each hand. And you're going to press the dowel into the flesh, starting more towards the lower body, and then maintaining that pressure as you drag the dowel up the leg. And you can go from lower leg to upper leg. And what you're doing is you're maintaining pressure. We're doing what is called the plow technique. So you're putting pressure into the fascia, the muscles, and you're pressing it in and you're dragging it up as we're working with the lymph from the lower limb towards the pelvis. Yes, good. Try to maintain the most of the pressure in the upward motion. If you find an area that you just want to go back and forth in, that's fine too. That's called combing. But if you're going to do long sweeps, then allow the most of the pressure to be moving the fluid up towards the heart. Okay, so you're going to do one whole leg. Yeah, do outside of leg as well. Mhm. Breathe deeply. Sometimes breath gets held a little bit here. So just let some breaths out your mouth. This is a release part of the sequence. Okay, when one leg starts to feel a little bit kind of more of a release, you can go in tapping, plowing technique, and move to your other leg at your timing. So you choose. No rush. Yeah, good. I'm gonna go through the whole side and just taking a moment to watch over you. Hey, these mechanoreceptors that are in the body, specifically in the fascia, they respond to vibration. They help build proprioception. So once again, focusing a little bit more on those nociceptors over the next little while, which are the receptors in the body that give us that awareness of sensation or pain. I like to use the word sensation so that we can just notice it without gripping onto it or getting too much into a story. Okay, so the more proprioception we have, the less nociceptors will start to fire. So the less sensation we'll have in the body. So sometimes when we do have a place that is sore, we sometimes kind of want to move away from it. But this is that one place where we start to move towards it a little bit in an awareness of softness, knowing that we're in a safe space. And go into your plowing techniques. Remember, you can go behind the knee as well. This is a really nice place to put a tiny bit of pressure as you go from the calf through behind the knee up through the hamstring. So we're just having one of the awarenesses through the fascia education and research is to find those places of stagnation and get the stagnation to start to move. So this plowing technique is helping that. So the more that we create fluidity and movement in the body, then the more that we can feel the body working as a whole mechanism. And that's getting into the biology of the body. It's called biotensegrity, if any of you have heard of it. Okay, so you can take your time to finish off the legs. Whenever the legs are done, some of you might not feel that you're quite ready to move on. So you just hover there, finish it off. Okay, if you are, the dowel goes off to the side. Notice if the height under the pelvis wants to go away for a moment. Okay, hands on belly, just going to do a little tapping through abdomen, nourishing all of our digestive organs as they're wrapped in fascia. And then the right hand is going to go over and tap the left side of the rib cage just to get into the fascia that's in between the rib cage to help assist the lungs. And then use your left hand to tap the right side. And then both hands can tap up through the center midline through the sternum to your collarbone area. And if you want, that B breath is yours to explore. It's optional. Inhale through nose as your lips touch. You create a humming sound out your mouth. Really great for distributing oxygen, releasing fascia stiffness, regulating nervous system. You can keep tapping across collarbone and sternum. This is where your thymus gland is really nourishing for the upper part of the lungs and the thymus gland, especially if you've had any excess fluid in the lungs over the last little while. This is going to help to clear the lungs. Mm. You can reach one arm, fingers up to the ceiling. So I've got my left arm and I'm using my right hand to start at my wrist to tap down through forearm, upper arm to the chest. And then you can use the back of the hand to do the other side of the arm from the wrist, forearm up through the arm to the chest. Okay, the vein that pulls all of this lymph that we've been moving back into the cardiovascular system is right underneath the collarbone. So that's why I'm getting you to end at the collarbone area. You can also use your thumb and your index at the wrist and just put some pressure and plow up the arm over the elbow into the upper arm. And you can just do a little release through the arm. So sometimes when we release shoulders, we flow down and release hips. And sometimes when we release hips, we feel a release in shoulders. Now, if you have glasses, you might want to take this off for this one. We're going to take our fingers and massage our scalp if you want. It's not necessary, but we've got a lot of fascia around our scalp, which is going to help to release the neck and the shoulders and the upper back. Hey, you might even feel that you just want to release forehead and you might want to do a sweeping up from the third eye and between the eyebrow up to the hairline, or from there out to the sides of your temples, so across the forehead. Nice. And when you're ready, the palm of the hands are going to touch. You're going to rub them together to create some heat, some energy. Fingers can be together or fingers can be apart. Okay, we're going to end just releasing and calming the nervous system. So heel of the hand is going to be placed on your cheekbone. Palm of the hand is going to cup over your eyes, fingers on your forehead. And just try to block all of the light out from your eyes. Eyes can be closed if you wish, or stay open. Just let yourself breathe. Sometimes a couple breaths out the mouth come in. Just allowing this darkness, the vibration, the heat to flow into our eyes, through our optic nerve, into the skull. Notice where you feel tingling. Notice where you feel heavy. Notice where you feel spacious. A few more breaths. Just letting the nervous system enjoy a moment of pause. When you're ready, the hands will release from the eye. And you choose, do the eyes want to stay closed as you do that and then slowly open them? Okay, we're going to do a little bit of movement through whole body here. And so depending, if you had when you had your legs in the air, if it felt better to have a trip foam block under the pelvis, then you're going to re-put that under. If you found bringing the legs up into the air and it was better to have the pelvis flat on the floor, then you're going to be here. You can just bring a ball or a block in between the thighs. Okay, so check. Do you need some support under the pelvis? If not, your pelvis is flat on the floor. You're squeezing the ball. Now you want to press. If you don't have any support underneath the pelvis and you're just flat on the floor, you want to press your lower back and your rib cage into the floor. Those of you that put a little bit of height, you're going to feel your lower ribs really rooting into the floor as you squeeze the ball, arms and the legs come up into the air. Little bend of elbows, little bend of knees. Okay, palms face one another. Now you're going to find either your S breath or your SH breath. We're going to move into the first pose, which is canoe. So arms and legs are going to move away from one another. Don't go too far. If your legs and arms move away from one another and your back starts to arch, you've gone too far. Okay, so you're only moving in a range of motion of arms and legs coming back together in a way where you can maintain the pressing of the back into the floor. Yes. Slide and glide here. Good. So S sound or SH, you choose. Working a little bit more the pelvic floor connection today as well. Good. And abs, yes. I was gonna say, I was gonna go into that, and I'm like, I wonder if you feel your abs swimming. Okay, so now you're gonna take the ball out, block, put it off to the side. Still keep that connection. Now we're gonna move right arm, right leg towards the torso. Left arm, left leg towards the floor. It doesn't need to touch. Remember, you're only going down as far as you can maintain the back pressing into the floor. Now you're going to switch left arm, left leg, come up towards torso head. Right arm, right leg, release down. Okay, and switch. Right arm, right leg up. Left arm, left leg down. Keep gathering in and out. Use that sound. Shh. I know it's a lot of work. So you take some time, pause, shake it out when you need to. Yeah, good. We're going to do lateral line release now. So palms are going to face one another, still pressing into the floor. We're going to inhale as we open arms and legs out to the side. So don't go too far. Reach through your outer heels, pinky side of the foot, lateral line. There it is. Now, when you exhale, I want you to do an SH sound as you imagine that you're squeezing a ball, all the air out as the arms and the legs come together. There it is. Inhale, open. SH breath. Press your back into the floor. Three more. Inhale, open. Exhale, SH breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, SH breath. One more. Shake arms and legs out in the air. Bring them down to the floor. If you have height underneath the pelvis, take it out. Take a moment just to rest. Some of you might want to have your feet hip width apart or a little bit wider and just let the legs very softly as you exhale to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Okay, so we're going to do the core twist. This is one that we do every single class. And I know some of you are really enjoying putting a block in between the inner thighs or the ball. So you're going to place that in between the inner thighs again. Now, option is just to have the arms on the floor, so palms down. Okay, some of you I know like to bring the arms up and have it like you're holding a big ball. So depending on which dowel you grabbed, if you don't have the long one, then the short one's kind of tricky to hold in the hands. It's a little bit less narrow, but it's not as wide for the shoulder girdle. But you can always put a long dowel in the palm of the hands or with the arms in the air, or just have the arms up. Okay, so one on the floor, arms up in the air with no dowel, or the dowel in between the hands. Okay, you're going to exhale, you're going to squeeze the ball. I'm going to show it without anything with the arms. Okay, and you want to try to bring your thighs up towards your abdomen, your torso, as close as you can. Okay, feet are parallel, same distance as the knees. The feet are not together if the knees are apart. Now you're going to inhale, exhale, bring the legs over to one side and a little bit of an up. So you're creating a U shape instead of just going over to one side. Then you're going to inhale into center, legs and head, torso come back into center. Exhale, squeeze the ball. Block, come over to the other side. A little bit up on the side. Yeah, good. And then you're going to come back, inhale to center, exhale. If you've got the arms in the air, the arms are moving the opposite direction of the legs. So as your legs go to the left, arms go to the right, and they both meet in center. And then you exhale to the other side. Good. So you can rest if you need to, or if you want to go into the intermediate as you go to the side, you imagine that you're kicking a ball in space. So you extend your shins, your feet, reach your heels up towards the ceiling. It becomes a straight leg. And then you bend the knee, inhale to center, exhale. Good. Just going to go from side to side. Take some time when you're ready to pause. Back into center. Release the dowel, release the ball, the block. Yeah, good. Good job. Take a moment, pause. Okay, so I want to do just a little of a neck release. So we all have our terror bands with us. And so you're going to have the ball or the block just in between the thighs. Feet are going to stay on the floor for this one. Okay, and you're going to take your terror band and create a little sling for the back of your head. So you're going to put it behind your skull, maybe around the occipital ridge, maybe just at the top of the neck. Okay, inner elbows are going to gather. And you're going to relax your head into the terror band, and then you're going to gently pull the terror band up towards the ceiling. So you're tugging on it so that the head just barely levitates off the floor. And so the head is very relaxed into the terror band. Just going to do a little release for the neck. And then you're going to squeeze the ball in between the thighs. Some of you have a block. And then you're going to see if you can press your lower back into the floor and see if your upper torso and your head curls up a little bit. So you're trying not to reach your head forward, but you're leaning your head back into the terror band and you're gently pulling the terror band forward. And then you're going to roll back down. Okay. We'll try rooting the feet, squeezing the ball, maybe an SH sound as you press your back into the floor, lower back, gently curl up through the spine. Good. Relax your head back as you inhale and exhale. Hold this part. And then you're going to lower back down. Good. Let's try it again. Press feet, squeeze the ball, the block. Press your back into the floor, lower back ribs, slowly curl up. The top, as you breathe, relax your head back into the terror band. We're just strengthening some deeper flexor muscles in the neck. Come back. We're going to do it one last time. Cross feet, squeeze the ball, root the back, slowly curl up. You got it. And then come back down. Release the terror band. Okay, draw the legs in towards you, shake it out. Good. Okay, now we're going to just do a little release through the arms. So if you want, some of you I know like to have the bolster. You can pop it behind the knees. You can have a bent knee position. If you want to do these with some weights, you can. You're just going to lie flat on the floor. Sometimes the block might be there. And you want to make sure that you can reach your arms out to the side. So if you can't do that with your neighbor, one of you is going to scoot down a little bit. There we go. These are going to be our last ones. So we're just going to release the torso. So if this is your first class, you're going to not use weights. If you've been to the class before and you do want to grab the weights, you can. I'm going to demonstrate it without weights. Okay, so either block a ball in between the inner thighs, or you can have the bolster turn sideways underneath the knees like me. Yeah, there you go. I was just going to say, I think you need the bolster. I could feel it when I was like, Caroline needs the bolster. Okay, what's up? Yes, I felt that so that your feet and your legs could just release. Okay. So we're going to bring our arms up. Those of you that are using the weights are in your hand. If not, you're just using the palm of the hands with no weights. Okay, your palms of your hands are facing your legs. Now you're going to let your shoulder blades descend as you exhale. The back of the ribs press into the floor as you exhale. Now, if you don't have any weights, you can touch the pad of your index to the pad of your thumb. This is going to activate as you lean that into each other, the thumb and the index, the muscles through the front of the chest. Those of you that have the weights, you're just going to allow your hands to be quite soft as you hold the weights. You're going to open your arms out to the side. Now, you do not need to touch the floor. Maybe your upper arms come towards the floor. Then you're going to bring the arms back up so the index and the thumb come back towards one another. So we're just going to open. Remember, you're not arching away from the floor. If you are, then you've gone too far. You can use the SH breath as you open. That's where the most loading is happening. And the inhale as the arms come back together. If you want to use the S breath, feel free. Okay, if your head wants to stay in center, allow that to happen. If when you open the arms, other option is turning your head to the side as you open the arms. And then as your arms come back together, head comes back into center. So we're nourishing the muscles in the fascia through the front of the arms, the front of the chest. Ah, yes. We're also using, some of us are using a hand mudra, jnana mudra, which affects the mind, the brain to bring in a little bit more calmness as our pads of our fingers create neuro pathways to the brain. Here we can do one or two more. Now, the next time you even yourself out, if you have the hand mudra, you're going to release it, wiggle your fingers. All of us are going to turn our palms to face one another and then turn the whole arm and the palm of the hand to face the wall behind us. Now, if you're not using weights, your thumb is going to touch the pad of your ring finger. There's a leaning equally. Other three fingers wiggle. Those of you that have the weights, just try to soften the hands on the weights a little bit. Okay, so heavy elbows. Now you're going to do the same thing. Open the arms out to the side with the arms in this orientation, and then bring the pinky side of the hands back towards one another. You can bring the head in. Remember, when you open the arms, that's when your S sound or your SH sound comes in. Hmm. This pinky and ring finger loading that we have here, some of us are using, this is connecting to our shoulder blade. It also connects to the element of earth. So it's very grounding, calming gesture to the body and the mind. Some of you that are using the weights are loading the fascia a little bit more, creating a little bit of a different resilience of bounce and springy quality to the fascia. Nice. Just let that even out, going equal amount of times if you're turning your head to the left, center, and right. Okay, and then once that's done, you're going to pause. You're going to release the arms, the weights down. Take a moment just to rest body. And then you're just going to see, do I need something to release and let go? So, one thing that's coming in is some of you might feel, oh, I just want to draw the legs back into the chest and give them a hug. Some of you might decide to grab the terror band and maybe put it around the feet, widen the terror band a little bit with the knees bent and do a little baby pose. Okay, so when you have the feet hip width apart and then you pull the terror band apart, you're working your outer hip muscles. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of more of that next week. And some of you might even just hold the feet. Okay, so we're just going to take a few moments here to rest. When you're ready to pause into your final pose of resting, which may have the bolster underneath your leg. Some of you may want to feel, oh, I want to open my inner thighs again. So you can have the soles of the feet together and the legs open up. Times it feels really nice to have the bolster there, to have the soles of the feet together. And I'm showing this and the legs opened up. And you're supporting just below the knee and the upper thigh. Ah, we're just going to take a couple minute pause here. Ah, just notice how you feel as you let the breath have its rhythm out the mouth, out the nose, purse lip, sigh. As you allow that breath to be there, flowing towards in and out of the nose when you're ready. Do a little scan through your body from your feet, through your lower leg, the knees, the upper leg to your pelvis, through the pelvis, through your lower back, the rib cage and shoulder blade, the upper arm, the shoulder, the elbow, the lower arm, the wrist, and the hand. Soft neck, widened with an easeful throat, gentle face, quiet mouth with a little part of the teeth. Sometimes when we part the teeth, the lips decide to open, and that's fine too. Just letting the jaw let go, the back of the skull descend. You just feel the whole body in this place of integration of the practice. I always like to share pieces of poetry in the class. And when I send out the recording of this class later, you also, if you look beneath the recording link, will see the poem that I shared today. And the author's called Aria Mountain Dreamer, or sometimes just Aria. It's called Joy in Our Spaces. I'm learning to befriend restlessness, to spend fewer moments sleepwalking or giving in to continuous movement, disguised as productive activity. Learning not to resist by collapsing into the endless distractions and dissatisfaction. There's so many shiny objects. I'm learning to ground in the scent of here, to the taste of what is, to the soft sound of my breathing, the color and texture of landscape, inner and outer. After all these years of longing, I'm learning to be here. After all these years of longing, I'm learning to be here. Thank yourself for showing up for practice and carving this time for yourself out of your day. Take a few more mindful breaths, just watching the inhale enter and watching the exhale leave, and really experiencing that, whether it's in and out of the nose or in the nose, out the mouth. Slowly coming back into your body, wiggling maybe fingers and feeling the whole arm become a little bit more aware. And then wiggling toes and feeling the feet and the legs and the knees and the upper leg communicating with pelvis. And you might do a stretch, a yawn, whatever you feel It's necessary for you to come back proprioceptively here. Release any props that you have. Roll over to one side. Now remember, if one side is feeling discomfort, roll over to the other side. Come back and sit up. Now, if sitting straight leg and doing that little shift of where we kind of lifted up and kind of dragged our hand to find a little bit more release up through the pelvis, sitting nice and tall, shift a little bit forward or back just so you have enough space to move the arms. Okay, if cross-legged feels good, you sit there. If not, you're rooting through hips, thighs, calves. Palms and arms externally rotate forward. Find a little gathering in and up. Okay, so there's a pressing down, but a pulling up. Exhale out the mouth. Good. As we root down, inhale, let the arms sweep up. Maybe the head looks up, gathering up. And as you touch the palms of the hands, exhale, draw a line as you receive in front of the body from the head, the throat, the heart, the belly, the pelvis. Do that again. Root down, inhale up. Good. Exhale, receive. One last time as we inhale up, pausing at heart center this time, just as we feel our thumbs rest on sternum, palm to palm, pelvis, thighs, calves, rooting into the floor if you're straight leg. Soft shoulders, soft shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Feel another mindful inhale and exhale. Slowly start to let the eyes open if they've been closed. The head lift as you mindfully inhale and exhale. Thank you for sharing your time, your presence in class. May you enjoy your day out there today. Thank you for being here.